Have you ever wondered what older men are truly searching for in their next wife? Well, here's a surprising truth. 95% of them aren't looking for what you think. It's not about age, beauty, or the usual cliches. In fact, what they desire goes far deeper than most people realize. I'm Vernon, and in this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 key qualities that 95% of older men are truly looking for. These aren't superficial traits, they go beyond what's typically expected. Trust me, what you're about to hear will completely change the way you think about love, relationships, and what it really takes to build a successful marriage after 60. Stay tuned. Before we dive in, support me by subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of the stories and insights we share here, especially if this message speaks to you. Let's begin with the first truth, a quiet signal that tells you when a man's love is no longer just about passion, but about presence. Number 1. Emotional equilibrium, the peace they crave. There's something that happens in a man's relationship priorities as he moves through his 50s, 60s, and beyond that represents perhaps the most fundamental shift in what he seeks in a partner. I remember a conversation with my friend Robert, a 68-year-old retired engineer who'd recently married after being widowed. When I asked him what drew him to his new wife, Linda, his answer surprised me. Vernon, after 40 years of marriage and 3 years of being alone, what I wanted most was simply peace. Linda brings a calmness to my life that I didn't even know I was craving. What Robert was describing touches on the most essential quality that mature men seek in a wife: emotional equilibrium. The ability to maintain inner balance and create an atmosphere of tranquility rather than drama. This isn't about being boring or passionless. It's about possessing what the ancient Stoics called ataraxia, a state of serene composure that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Mature men have typically learned this lesson through experience, and they desperately want partners who've learned it too. They're seeking women who don't create emotional storms over minor inconveniences, who can discuss problems without becoming the problem, and who bring stability rather than volatility to the relationship. Robert explained that in his younger years, he might have been attracted to passionate, dramatic women who created intensity and excitement. But after decades of life experience, he'd come to understand that constant emotional turbulence is exhausting. What he valued most in Linda was her ability to remain calm during challenges, to respond rather than react, and to create what he called emotional sanctuary in their shared life. This emotional equilibrium manifests in several specific ways that men find deeply attractive. These women typically don't need constant reassurance about the relationship. They can handle disappointments without catastrophizing. They discuss problems calmly rather than in emotional outbursts, and they maintain their own emotional stability rather than requiring others to manage their moods. If you're wondering how to cultivate this quality, focus on developing what I call emotional spaciousness, the ability to feel your emotions fully without being controlled by them, to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and to maintain your inner peace regardless of external circumstances. This foundation of emotional equilibrium naturally creates the space for our next essential quality. Number 2.
Genuine companionship, beyond surface connection. Building on the foundation of emotional equilibrium, there's another quality that mature men seek that goes far deeper than casual compatibility or shared activities. When mature men speak of what they want in their next chapter, they rarely say, "I want excitement" or constant romance. What they often mean, even if they don't say it outright, is this: "I want someone I can sit in silence with and still feel understood." Genuine companionship isn't about filling time. It's about sharing it without pressure to entertain or impress. It's the comfort of knowing you can have dinner without speaking and still feel closer than ever. It's long car rides, quiet mornings, deep talks that happen when no one's trying too hard. For men who've been through life, the divorces, the losses, the noise, surface-level attraction fades fast. What stays is someone who listens without judgment, laughs without filters, and shows up even when things aren't picture perfect. They're not looking for a co-star in some idealized love story. They're looking for a real partner in the day-to-day. Someone who makes the ordinary feel meaningful and whose presence turns a quiet evening into something worth remembering. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote about amicitia vera, true friendship, as the foundation of all lasting relationships. For mature men seeking life partners, this concept becomes central. They're not looking for someone to impress or someone who will be impressed by them. They're looking for someone who can be a genuine companion on the journey of aging, someone who can share both the wisdom and the worries that come with this stage of life. This genuine companionship manifests in several ways that men find deeply valuable. These women engage in real conversations about meaningful topics, show genuine interest in their partner's inner world, share their own authentic thoughts and feelings without pretense, and create emotional safety for vulnerability and honest communication. What makes this particularly important for mature men is that many have spent decades in roles that required them to be strong, decisive, and emotionally controlled. In genuine companionship, they can finally relax into being human, expressing uncertainties, sharing fears, and exploring thoughts without judgment or the pressure to have all the answers. When a woman offers genuine companionship, she's providing relief from this deepest form of loneliness by seeing and accepting her partner's authentic self. Studies from Harvard's study of adult development show that genuine companionship, characterized by emotional intimacy and authentic sharing, is the strongest predictor of happiness and life satisfaction in older adults. The research indicates that this quality becomes more important with age, as other sources of identity and validation naturally diminish. If you want to cultivate this quality, focus on developing genuine curiosity about others' inner worlds, practicing deep listening without immediately trying to solve problems, and sharing your own authentic thoughts and feelings rather than what you think others want to hear. Have you ever experienced that kind of quiet connection? The kind where no words are needed, but you still feel deeply seen? I'd love to hear about it. Share your story in the comments. It might be exactly what someone else needs to feel understood today. This companionship naturally creates the conditions for our next essential quality, which we'll explore as we continue understanding what mature men truly seek in partnership.
Number 3, supportive independence, the balance of togetherness and space. One of the most surprising things I've learned, both through my own journey and through the men I've spoken with, is this. Mature love isn't about being inseparable. It's about being deeply connected without losing yourself in the process. After my divorce, which happened several years ago, after nearly 2 decades of marriage, I had to ask myself some hard questions. One of them was this: what did I need that I never really said out loud? The answer was simple but powerful. Room to breathe without being made to feel distant. And now as I open myself to the idea of love again, I realize I'm not looking for someone to fill my empty spaces. I'm looking for someone who honors them. Supportive independence means we can each have our passions, our quiet moments, our solitude, and still know we're walking together. It's her cheering you on when you take that solo trip or work late on something that lights you up. It's you giving her the freedom to recharge, explore, or simply have space to think, without fear of being seen as pulling away. It's the opposite of codependence. It's the kind of relationship where you don't need to be in each other's pockets to feel close, because the bond isn't based on proximity. It's based on mutual respect and trust. This is the delicate balance between togetherness and individuality that allows both partners to thrive as individuals while creating something beautiful together. The philosopher Khalil Gibran wrote, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you." This poetic wisdom captures what mature men instinctively understand. Healthy relationships require partners who are complete in themselves, who choose to share their lives rather than merge their identities, and who support each other's individual growth alongside their shared journey. This independence also addresses a specific concern that many mature men have about remarriage: the fear of losing the autonomy they may have enjoyed during periods of single life. When a woman demonstrates supportive independence, she signals that partnership doesn't mean the end of individual freedom and growth. The supportive aspect of this independence is equally important. This isn't about being distant or uninvolved. It's about being engaged and caring while respecting boundaries and individual needs. These women support their partner's goals and interests even when they don't share them, and they expect the same support in return. Because once a man feels safe to be himself and free to grow beside you, there's one more thing he quietly hopes for, something fewer people talk about, but almost every mature man longs for deep down. Number 4, authentic appreciation, the recognition they rarely receive. Mature men won't always say it, but many of them carry a quiet hunger, not for praise, not for admiration, but for something far simpler and far rarer: to be genuinely seen. Not for the role they play, provider, protector, fixer, but for the man they are underneath all that. The man who still tries, even when he's tired, who shows up, even when it goes unnoticed, who listens without interrupting, sacrifices quietly, and worries in silence. After years, sometimes decades, of being expected to be strong, steady, and unfazed, many men stop expecting appreciation altogether. They don't ask for it. Some don't even realize how much they need it. But when it comes, not in flattery, but in real recognition, something softens in them. It could be as simple as a look that says, "I see what you did and it mattered." A whispered "thank you" that cuts through the noise. or a moment where his efforts aren't just acknowledged, but felt. When a woman offers authentic appreciation, not as a tactic, but as a truth, she gives him something deeper than love. She gives him permission to stop performing and simply be valued. And for many men, that kind of recognition is more healing than words can ever explain. This goes far beyond casual compliments or grateful acknowledgments. It's the deep recognition of someone's essential worth and the unique qualities they bring to life and relationship. The ancient Greek concept of arete refers to excellence of character, the inner qualities that make someone truly valuable as a human being. Mature men have typically spent decades being appreciated primarily for what they do, their professional achievements, their problem-solving abilities, their provision and protection. But what they long for is appreciation for who they are, their wisdom, their patience, their quiet strength, their capacity for care. What makes this particularly powerful for mature men is that they've often spent a lifetime being valued primarily for their utility, their ability to earn, to fix problems, to provide solutions. When a woman appreciates their intrinsic worth, their character, and their wisdom, it addresses a hunger they may not have even recognized in themselves. This appreciation also acknowledges the reality that mature men have accumulated wisdom, emotional intelligence, and life skills that represent real value. When these qualities are recognized and honored, it validates their journey and their growth as human beings. The authenticity aspect is crucial. Men can distinguish between genuine appreciation and flattery or manipulation. Authentic appreciation comes from really seeing and understanding your partner, not from trying to make them feel good for strategic purposes. Psychological research from the University of California shows that feeling genuinely appreciated is one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction for men across all age groups, but particularly for men over 55. The study found that appreciation for character qualities had more impact on relationship happiness than appreciation for actions or achievements. The practical application is to develop what I call character awareness, the ability to notice and acknowledge the deeper qualities in your partner, rather than focusing primarily on what they do for you. Ask yourself, what character qualities does this person possess that make them valuable as a human being? What does authentic appreciation look like in your life? Or what's one quiet effort you've made that you wish had been noticed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might resonate more than you think. And if this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video to help others discover it too. This authentic appreciation creates the foundation for our final essential quality, a shared vision that transforms a relationship from simple companionship into a true partnership for the future. Let's explore this final point together and see if it's something familiar, yet rarely recognized for how powerful it truly is.
Number 5. Shared vision for the future, the partnership they dream of. We arrive at the final and perhaps most important quality that mature men seek in their next wives. My friend Patricia recently shared something profound about her relationship with Robert, a 69-year-old retired architect she'd married 6 months earlier. What sealed our commitment, she said, wasn't just how well we got along in the present, but how clearly we could envision building a meaningful future together. We both wanted the same things for our remaining years: adventure, contribution, and deep connection. This reveals the fifth essential quality: a shared vision for the future that creates genuine partnership in designing and living the next chapter of life. This isn't just compatibility in the present moment, it's alignment about how to spend the precious years that remain, what kind of legacy to create, and how to face the challenges and opportunities of aging together. The philosopher Viktor Frankl wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." For mature men considering marriage or remarriage, the why often centers on having a partner who shares their vision for making their remaining years meaningful, fulfilling, and purposeful. They're not just looking for companionship, they're looking for a co-creator of their future life. Robert explained that he and Patricia had spent months discussing their hopes and concerns about the years ahead. They both wanted to travel while they were still healthy, to maintain close relationships with their adult children and grandchildren, to find ways to contribute to their community, and to support each other through whatever health challenges might arise. This alignment gave their relationship a sense of purpose and direction that felt like true partnership. This shared vision manifests in several ways that men find deeply attractive. These women engage in meaningful conversations about future goals and priorities, share similar values about how to spend their remaining active years, show willingness to face aging challenges together with courage and grace, and contribute to planning and creating a mutually fulfilling future rather than just going along with their partner's plans. What makes this particularly crucial for mature men is that they're often acutely aware of the limited time remaining. They don't want to spend their precious years in relationships that lack direction or purpose. They want partners who can help them make the most of whatever time they have left, who share their enthusiasm for continued growth and contribution, and who approach the future with optimism rather than fear. The partnership aspect is crucial. This isn't about one person having a vision and the other person supporting it. It's about two people creating a shared vision together, combining their individual strengths, interests, and resources to build something meaningful and beautiful. The practical wisdom here is profound. These qualities aren't out of reach. They're entirely achievable, and more importantly, developable. They don't require youth, wealth, or conventional beauty. They don't ask for perfection. What they do require is something far more valuable in the long run: emotional maturity, self-awareness, and the kind of grounded wisdom that only comes from truly living. So, if you're wondering whether you're too late for real love, or whether you have what it takes, you do. The very years you thought might disqualify you may actually be the reason you're finally ready.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered. The 5 qualities we've talked about: emotional equilibrium, genuine companionship, supportive independence, authentic appreciation, and a shared vision for the future, speak to something deeper about human relationships. They remind us that what mature men truly want isn't about superficial attractions or societal expectations, but about the core human desire to be known, appreciated, and to share a meaningful life with someone. What makes these insights particularly valuable is that they represent desires that have been refined by experience and wisdom. Mature men have moved beyond the superficial attractions that might have motivated them in younger years,
and they're seeking something much more substantial. Partners who can truly enhance their lives and join them in making their remaining years as rich and meaningful as possible. Remember, men aren't seeking perfect women. They're seeking conscious partners who understand what truly matters in creating lasting happiness and meaningful connection. If this perspective has been enlightening, make sure to subscribe my channel and share these insights with others who might benefit from understanding the deeper truths about mature relationships. Ring that notification bell, because conscious partnership is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves and others. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the masculine heart and its deepest desires.